everyone's anticipating Brandon Ayuk not being an OTAs. That's not a shock, although it is news. But the other one that I think is funny to me is like Jennings wasn't there either. It's like, yeah, I'm mad too. Yeah, I'm underappreciated. Like, okay, Jauan Jennings, good player. We're not talking $30 million a year over here. He's a restricted free agent, which means he doesn't have much leverage. And second rounder, which means they like him. I mean, that's a big raise. To trade for him, you have to get a second round pick. He's not happy, I guess. What do you think of Jauan Jennings trying to flex his leverage and force the Niners to account for how important he is in their offense?
I don't blame him. I mean, after what he did in the Super Bowl, he was clearly the MVP. No offense to Brock, no offense to anyone else, but I think that it was clear. And I don't blame him because now here's a 7th round draft pick, hasn't made a lot of money, but does everything right. He practices hard, he plays his heart out, he blocks like crazy. So, and he's learned the system. So I don't blame him at all. The problem is, what's the end game for him? Can he force a trade? I think it's going to be tough to trade him at this point. You have to take less than a 2nd round, and he has to agree with another team what his new contract is going to be. I don't see another team out there given cap situations at this point. I guess after June 1st, maybe. But that's the problem. What is his end game? But there's definitely rancor, and I don't blame him. He looked like the focal point in a Super Bowl, at least the best productive player in the Super Bowl. Why not?
He still had four catches for 42 yards. This one, I feel like I don't know if he wants to make the stand, man. You had 19 catches last year. You had 1 catch in the NFC Championship game. Like, you are a good player, but you don't really have a resume. I mean, your resume is that you balled out in the Super Bowl. That's your resume, and you did for sure. I think they don't. Yeah. I think they look at you as replaceable, man. Like Ayuk, they want to be here long term. I don't think they look at you as someone to be on this team past this year. I think you know it. Probably. And I think it bugs you, Jauan. I think Jauan is like, man, I'm better than Brandon. It's like, maybe in that one game you were, but the thing about him is like he's kind of slow, and there's only so much you can do with him. You can't put him in motion. You can't run him deep. You can run. He's 3rd and Jauan. On 3rd and 7, he can run an 8-yard route and catch the ball with 8 people around him. He's really good at that. But I mean, if he didn't play, would Ricky Pearsall be so much worse? I don't know.
Well, yeah, but here's the other thing. If he was so great, teams would have signed him. A 2nd round draft pick. Right. I mean, so I mean, and I have nothing against Jauan. All right. But no. The point is, I don't blame him as a player if I can try to get something more. But as I said, what's his end game here? I don't see what his end game is. He should just sign the tender at some point. Yeah, I don't see it either. But I get it as a player, especially if you have good representation telling you there's something you can have out of this. But if I'm him, I sign the tender and get to training camp at least. I don't try to sit out in any part of training camp. It doesn't benefit him. He has to be in shape and ready for his next contract.
I'm trying to think what his thought process is here. What if it's as simple as this? It's like, everyone's being so careful with Brandon. Like, he's not there, but we understand. It's part of the business. All right, well, if Brandon's not going to show up, I'm not going to show up. I'm in the same exact situation as him. Like, I have 1 year left of my contract. I would like an extension. No one seems to take me seriously or my grievance. Everyone's so upset about Brandon. How's Brandon feeling? How is Brandon feeling about, like, what about how I feel? So as long as he's not going to be here for the voluntary stuff, I won't either. And you can't get mad at me because he think I'll be back for minicamp because I don't have that much money and I'm not trying to get fined. But OTAs, no, absolutely not. And don't get mad at me about it because, frankly, a lot of players in this team are making the same decision.
Yeah, but here's a big difference, though. With BA being out, I would want to be there. Now, I wouldn't necessarily overexert myself and get hurt, but I would just sign the tender. It's guaranteed, and I would be there. And, if the Niners want to talk an extension, but the point is they're not going to give him a lot of money. So
but here's the thing, though. here's the thinking, okay? Like he's been there, he's done everything right, and he still got 19 catches. He still gets overlooked. He still doesn't get the extension. So what do you do? Now you pull away. You're like, all right, well, you took me for granted. I gave you everything. I blocked my ass off, and you think I'm replaceable? Okay, I'm gonna be gone. Let's see what my absence does to your offense. Let's see what that does. Okay. And maybe that proves my worth. Or maybe it proves your lack of worth. That's a dangerous game to play. It's a dangerous game to play.
Yeah. See, especially
you want to replace him with a rookie? Good luck. He doesn't even know where to line up.
Okay, but wait. How does Danny Gray look now?
Not like Jauan Jennings. Who can run Jauan Jennings routes? Those dig routes over the middle. The thing about Jennings is nice is he's 6'2" with hops, and you don't have to throw it perfectly to him. You throw that to Ricky Pearsall with his 30-inch arms. You better throw that one perfectly to him, or else it could be tipped, intercepted.
Well, but here's the thing. I think a lot of, and nothing against you, Jauan, but when you got BA on the field, Debo on the field, CMC and Kittle, you're probably not going to get the best of coverage rotated your way. Okay? Which is why, being slow as he is, he can make those third down receptions.
See, that's what I feel like I would say to him in negotiations. If he said, well, look, I mean, I was going to be the Super Bowl MVP. Like, I had the best game of all these wide receivers, and I had a better game than Ayuk. I had a better game than Debo. It's like, okay, well, hold on. They were playing press man coverage. They were playing matchup coverage. You got the best matchup, and you still had 4 catches for 42 yards, man. No one's scared of you. No one is scared of you. Now, if it had been Ricky Pearsall and his 4.4 speed, getting those matchups instead of you, maybe we could have had some explosive plays, yada, yada, yada. Now, I don't know if Pearsall's that guy, but that's what they're thinking probably, like, we could do better. Sorry.
And that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Exactly. So that's why I'm Jennings. I get it, want more money, but take your butt to camp because no one's going to give you, or OTAs for now, no one's going to give you, because they would have signed already. Another team would have reached out and said, you know what, 2nd round pick, you're great, hell of a worth it. Let's do it, and we'll work on a contract. Here you go. But no team has done that. So why not get to camp? Show that you are established, like the receiver coach said, Hankerson said, and not only and show that you're better than these other receivers right now, other than maybe Debo.
Well, we're assuming that this is sort of like a cold strategic play by Jauan and his agent. What if this is emotional? What if this is like, hey man, we lost the Super Bowl 3 months ago, and I'm still upset, and I don't want to be there for a lot of reasons. I don't want to be at OTAs. I will catch up with you guys in June. What if it's as simple as that?
Okay, that could be cool, but that would be dumb in my opinion. You got to make a good money decision. Money talks, BS walks. You got to put your emotions aside. It's all about that dollar bill, right? Because that's what he's trying to get. So for me, I think the best way, and hopefully his representation is telling him this, hey, buddy, look, you're going to have to play on this tender. No other team wanted you, sorry. But ball out this year, get your guaranteed money, and then you control your destiny after that. And the way to ball out, BA's not in camp. Debo's, prima donna. Maybe he's over that this year, but you would be the gym that Purdy and the other quarterbacks have to focus on. So get there.
And he's doing himself a disservice because what's going to happen, Kyle's petty, man. And if he already doesn't see Jennings as part of the future plans, and Pearsall is. And Pearsall's getting the reps, and Jennings isn't. So if Pearsall plays well and Jennings comes back, Kyle could be like, sorry, you're 4th in the depth chart now. We wouldn't have known, but you weren't here, and we put him in your spot, and we really like it. So now you're going to 10 catches a year. Oh, that hurts your market value? Well, maybe we'll resign you next year. We might like to bring you back for like $3 million, but like, it could get bad for Jauan, dude. You don't have a resume like Ayuk does. So you need to be, honestly, you should be back right now, because every day you're not here and Pearsall's playing your spot. That's just dangerous. You don't know what could happen. I mean, Kyle makes his mind up before these things happen anyway, man. He gave Sam Darnold the job over Trey Lance. Like, don't mess with him.
Yeah, he is petty.
And
once he gets something in his head, that's it. But and this is I want to know your opinions. Now, you were there and you had something nice to say, but what about Danny Gray? Not saying that he's going to be an all-star on his team, but he can also get better with more reps with Purdy that, Jauan Jennings could have got. So this is what I'm talking about. It's not just Purcell. It's also Gray. It's also Colin. It's also anyone else who's in camp, because we got, 12 receivers that can get more snaps and reps that they wouldn't have before. So that's why on the player side, I get asking for more money. I get maybe missing some OTAs, but get there for mini camp, get there for camp, Jauan, because you don't have the leverage that BA has. So, yeah, I don't get it.